Echoes of Hastinapur, Chapter 1. The Unexpected Boyfriend, Coffee, Confessions, and Mythology. Hey Vivan, guess why did Lord Ram take Sita's Agni Pariksha? Ved Sharma, my enthusiastic friend, called out excitedly, his energy lighting up the room. I tore my gaze away from the screen, realizing that Ved wouldn't stop staring at me until I responded. Because he knew that his wife was immortal and wouldn't die in a fire like all humans, I replied sarcastically, familiar with Ved's love for mythological trivia. Back to my task in my office, surrounded by the soft hum of computers and the occasional ring of telephones, I had been engrossed in analyzing a massive amount of data on my computer screen. The information before me formed a labyrinth of numbers and charts, making it difficult to determine which representation would best suit the analysis. A pie chart or bar graph? I pondered, feeling slightly overwhelmed by the decision. Bro, you never reply seriously. Ved complained in his typical playful tone, always eager to dive into discussions about Hindu mythology. He is big, and when I say big, it truly means a big fan of mythology. And not just any mythology, it's Hindu mythology. I, for once, can't understand what the whole fuss was about. I mean, none of us know whether all those mythological stories are true or not. Science hasn't proven the existence of any mythological character. But who can explain that to Ved? Ved Sharma, this 23-year-old average height Delhi boy, was obsessed with everything that spelled mythology. Unperturbed, Ved continued. You see, Lord Ram knew that she wasn't Sita in reality. She was her shadow. His excitement was evident as he delved into the mythological explanation. Can I send my shadow to CCD tomorrow? Anurag wants to meet up. Tamanna came and occupied a seat next to me. She was a colleague and a great friend. She held out 2 cups of coffee to me and Ved. Exactly what I needed. I grabbed it, eager to finish up its contents. Why can't you just say no for a change? Ved said with a hint of exhaustion in his voice. Tamanna Agarwal was a happy-go-lucky girl. She was 24, and as is the case with Indian parents, she was being coaxed and forced to meet up with eligible young boys to marry. Like most girls these days, she wanted to pursue her career and not marry now. I have to 30 guys in total. She spoke dramatically. Me and Ved shook our heads. What I meant was, say no to your parents. Why not tell them that you aren't ready for marriage yet? Ved explained while taking a sip from his cup. I have, but Papa won't listen, she replied. I went back to staring at my screen, trying to figure out how to analyze this monstrous data. I am Vivan Kapoor, a 25-year-old data analyst. I did my MBA from a top college in India, and now I am here in a corporate setting, trying to make head and tail of vague data day in and day out. My parents are from Delhi. I am an only child. My father is a retired director of a reputed MNC. It was his wish to see me rise the corporate ladder. So here I am, like a dutiful child sitting in front of a screen drawing huge paychecks. You have already met Ved and Tamanna, but let me tell you a bit more about them. Ved is a data analyst like me. His father is the head of a mythological research institute called Sanatan Dharma Sanstha. Heavy, right? They are into researching Hindu mythological stuff. They lead major site excavations and do research on Hindu scriptures, Upanishads and whatnot. No wonder Ved's enthusiasm comes from his family. Tamanna Agarwal is the marketing manager at our company. Her father is a doctor at a private hospital. Her mother is a simple homemaker whose only wish is to see her daughter settled. Her father too supports the idea that women need to marry at the right time. We all work at Elegant Cosmetics Inc., It is a renowned company in India with head office in CP Delhi. Cool place, huh? Whenever we need a break, the three of us head outside to the nearby food outlets to grab a bite. This place is heaven. You have to sit with your dad and have a proper discussion on this. I spoke without turning my gaze from the screen. That's a tough job, and you know that. I have tried that in the past, but he just won't listen. She sighed, emptying the contents of her coffee. The only option for you then is to reject the guy, Ved concluded. Can I tell Anurag that I have a meeting tomorrow? She asked, her eyes dilated, expecting us to reply. I got up. I had to take Ashish's opinion. Only he could help me with this data. I heard Tamanna's protests in the background, but I tuned it out. Her problem was now a routine affair. Hey Ashish, I went to the front row of cubicles and stood in front of a lean spectacled boy with curly hair. Ashish was the smartest one in our department. He was recognized as the Employee of the Year and had won several awards since his 3 years with the company. One look at his cubicle and you would know the extent of his achievements by the display of his awards and certificates. Could you check my data once? I can't seem to decide which data representation would suit the analysis better. I spoke using my best tone and gave him my most amazing smile. He looked at me as he adjusted his spectacles. I was about to go for a tea break. He frowned, arrogance dripping from his voice. This man was the most arrogant person in our department, but I needed help. It will only take a minute. Besides, I have got that special kheer for lunch today that you so loved during our last office party. I smiled expectantly at him. I knew the guy's weakness for anything tasty or anything flattery. That seemed to do the trick. All right, let me have a look, but you are going to keep a huge share for me during lunch. He spoke. Of course, I mentally high-fived myself as he walked towards my cubicle, saw the data, and suggested the appropriate data representation. Thanks, I grinned as he walked away. That dude is a tough nut to crack. How do you manage to convince him to help you every time? Ved looked disbelievingly at me. That's the secret. I winked at him. Guys, is anybody even paying attention to my situation here? Tamanna sighed. Don't worry, I have a plan. Only if you are on board. I finally faced her, giving her the attention that she needed. I hope it is something of a rescue plan and not a troublesome plan. She looked at me skeptically. Of course, Tam, you're my bestie. I will help you out no matter what. I looked at her imploringly. Well then shoot, what's the plan? She asked. I will go with you tomorrow as your boyfriend. Once he'll see that you're already dating someone, he will have to reject you. I flashed a smile. Viv, I don't think that's a good idea. What if my parents get to know about this? She looked mortified. Yeah, dude, her dad's a real terror and we all know that. Ved chimed in. Don't worry, the guy won't tell your parents. He'll be too embarrassed to do that. I spoke confidently. Besides, who had that much time? As soon as he'd see me with Tam, he will run for the hills, never to contact her or her parents again. Tamanna looked unconvinced. I knew it was a tricky thing, but it was a permanent solution. If she bailed on him citing meeting-related reasons, she would have to reschedule her meeting with him and the problem will remain unresolved. Okay, she finally relented, obviously after going through the pros and cons of my idea. Best of luck to you both, Ved half mocked. The next day, post office hours at 7 pm, we both headed towards the busy CCD shop in CP. Tamanna was wearing a white kurti with matching plazos. She had tied her hair in a bun and looked elegant. Let me call him up, she remarked as she took out her cell phone from her purse and punched in a few numbers. Hello, yes Anurag, I have reached. She spoke into the phone as we both entered the crowded CCD. It was evening time and the place was almost full. There he is, she suddenly remarked. At a corner, there were 4 chairs around a table, and on one of the chairs I saw a man waving at us. We both went towards him. He looked a little surprised. Obviously, he was expecting to see the girl alone. My presence was somewhat of a shock. He was wearing a black shirt with blue jeans. Hi Anurag, this is Vivan. Tamanna smiled broadly as she pointed at me. Oh, yeah, hi Vivan, Anurag responded. Can we take a seat? Tamanna prodded. Oh, yes, sure, he replied. We all took our respective seats. Well, Anurag, I am glad that we were able to meet up. I want to tell you something up front. I hope I can trust you as a friend. Tamanna started the conversation in a hopeful tone, looking at Anurag directly. Well, yes, of course, Anurag replied. Vivan is my boyfriend and I intend to marry him. I know this is a bit of a shock for you, but my parents disapprove of him. I can convince them, but that will take some time. I hope you understand, she stated. I was a little taken aback by her direct approach to this conversation. The guy must have had his heart broken. I mean, sure that he wasn't dating her, this was all an arranged setup, but he was there as a potential suitor. Anurag looked aghast. His eyes dilated as he grabbed a glass of water kept on the table and took a few sips. I decided to speak. Tamanna has decided to be honest with you. We don't want to jeopardize 3 lives. Hope you'll understand. Anurag finally found his voice. Well, this was certainly something I had not anticipated. He forced a smile. But I guess I understand. I will tell my parents to reject you. But please do not tell them the real reason. Tamanna spoke suddenly. Oh, of course, you can relax. I won't. He smiled. But hey, we can enjoy a nice cup of coffee since we have arrived here. I spoke, trying to enliven the conversation. We 3 spent the next few hours sipping on coffee and enjoying a few sandwiches. Finally, we all decided to head back home. Anurag drove back home. Tamanna took an auto and I drove to my place. At night, around 11 pm, I got a message from Ved in our WhatsApp group. Guys, skip office tomorrow. I have something to show you. My dad has found an amazing thing in his latest excavation. Chapter 1 ends.